welcome to this sort of channel video, whatever it's gonna be. I'm Irene, and at the moment I'm an international student studying at the University of Amsterdam, and specifically like AUC, which is sort of a special kind of program. And I come from Italy, so I've been here for only like 10 days, not even less than that, like 9 days. And I'm still kind of adjusting to this sort of new setting, and I must say it's very, very overwhelming dealing with everything. But I think you can guess that. But I don't know, just going through it is kind of tiring me so much. But I'm also very excited, so I wanted to kind of take some time to record myself in the middle of this whole process to get you a little bit of an insight into how it's like, and I don't know how I'm surviving this, and just my little take on that. I think as well that it might be helpful to you, because I know that this is kind of a time in which people also start like thinking about their own application for university, especially in the Netherlands. So maybe this little insight of mine into how is it like to be a student here might kind of be helpful to know to address you for your decision. So without any further ado, let's get into the yapping. So with some struggles, I managed to put my phone in a situation, and I'm still very kind of grateful that I do have a phone still at this point after all the kind of tragic falls that I've had so far. But yeah, so what am I doing here? In about 10 days, or like, let's say, if you want to be precise, let's say 13 days. So it's like more like 2 weeks. Okay, anyway. That time I'm starting my actual kind of courses, the university, and I'm actually starting to feel very excited about it, I'm not gonna lie. So far all I could do was just trying to create this space that you're basically seeing behind me, because it was completely empty when I arrived. These are basically some rooms that the university is giving to students, like not for free, we kind of have to pay the rent, of course, but it's basically this place that it's secured for us, like for AUC students, so Amsterdam University College students, because it's part of its own kind of program that implies the creation of a small community, since it's a small scale education. So it involves like 25 people classes and a more interactive system of learning, which I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to guess actually how it's gonna actually turn out to be. But in a way, I think it's something that can you hear the hammer guy? I mean, it's also very representative of the situation these past of like these kind of days here, because students from a university get to move into their apartment starting from like the beginning of August, when their rental contracts start. So you get people that actually move in at any given period of the month, and as I said, the apartments are completely empty. There are no piece of furniture, no decors, nothing. Like we don't even have like kitchen items that are like, you know, actually kind of necessary to do anything basically. So we had to provide our own fridge, hot plate, whatever you might need that it's gonna kind of fulfill your needs, and then of course, you know, the things for your bedroom and like eventually kind of, you know, office, let's say, even though I mean, yeah, the kind of office that a student can have, let's say. And I always kind of read messages in the group chat of the university of people asking for hammers and drills and things like that, to kind of, you know, create their own speech, which I think is also very cool because everybody's so willing to make themselves feel at home, which makes sense because there are people coming from every single part of the world. I'm not kidding. It's so mind blowing, the kind of hot pot, the melting pot you get here with like kind of nationalities and even the mixed nationalities that certain people have. Because just my roommate, for example, she I'm always bragging about her like multicultural like identity, but I think it's so like exciting, I'd say. um she has her mother who's, I think, like, I mean, Portuguese, but might have some relatives in Spain. So she spent like quite a lot of time of her life in Spain. And then her father, he's like my roommate's father, he's half Italian, half French. And my roommate actually lived in England for a long time. So with her siblings, she speaks English. And now she went back to Italy, where, by the way, I come from. I'm Italian, and yeah, I don't have that much of a mix in my DNA, but I'm like still kind of, I don't know, not that much alone either, because there are other people who have like, you know, they all have very different backgrounds. They might kind of, you know, have lived in like multiple countries and have had, you know, this crazy kind of different experiences that you would not really kind of get to encounter on a daily basis. And some others who, as me, have always lived in their like hometown, and eventually had like a gap year and took that time to travel around. So I'm always very excited whenever it comes to time, even just mention the people that I've met and be like, yeah, her name is blah blah, she comes from blah blah. And yeah, especially my parents are always like mind blowing with whenever I like say any of those things, because it is very different and it's not something that I'm, I mean, I'm getting used to that, but I'm still feeling so content of being able to kind of getting accustomed to that, because yeah, otherwise, if I were living in my hometown, I don't think that would be the case. But yeah, so what is going on? Like, how have I spent these past 10 days or like 9 days? As I said, beyond kind of just the moving in, I also try to track down the kind of bureaucratic aspect of moving to the Netherlands, which is not something to give too much for granted, because there are still some, I mean, being a European country and me coming from Europe, it does make it a bit easier to arrive here. But for example, you also need to have a residence permit, and so go to the municipality to get your BSN, which is basically the kind of registration number that the government needs to have to just keep track of the fact that you were here and that you are living here for like a very extended period of time. And I actually got mine today, which again, I was so looking forward to this, like genuinely, because this is like the kind of information that I need for any sort of thing having to do with the government. Even if I want to kind of go into some platforms, I need to write down that this is my code basically. If I want to ask for benefits like student benefits, which do exist and they're very cool, or rental benefits that do exist but I can't really ask for them because I have a roommate, so the rules don't really apply to that, but whatever. The health insurance, which again is something that everybody has to kind of check for themselves, because it kind of varies on the situation of the person. And just to kind of give you like quick idea of how it works, normally as like EU students we don't need that, but if we start working we do, and we need to kind of get basic health insurance, which is very expensive, and that's why the health allowance exists for, to kind of make sure that the money that I make with my part-time job are not all going to pay my health insurance basically, and that I still have something for myself. And but yeah, otherwise if you come from another country beside like the European ones, you have to get your health insurance like anyway, so it can get quite expensive. But I don't mean to say that I didn't have time at all for myself these days, because I could also kind of share some time with my parents that were here, because I drove from Italy to here, and they very kindly accepted to carry all my things in a camper, because yeah, we have a camper. And it's not even a way of traveling that I ever really enjoyed. It was always like, camping is not for me. I don't like sharing such a tiny spaces with like so many other people, because I do also have some other kind of siblings. But in this kind of situation, it does turn out to be very, very handy. And so yeah. And I could even fit my mattress in it. Like, this beautiful mattress was in my camper, and it's like so great because it just kind of creates a feeling of home much quicker, I think, to have your own things, beside of course all the other kind of thing that I've either thrifted, either got an IKEA, either bought secondhand, but like I think it's great to have this kind of mix in between things that do belong to me and have some little bit more of history, and some other things which are brand new and just are willing to testify this new chapter of my life. But yeah, let's not make the whole kind of materialistic thing too kind of sentimental, because I'm not gonna lie, don't like that too much. But and it's, I think moving is always a very interesting time to redefine what you want to be described by, both in terms of like what is defining you as a person, what do you want others to see in you, and on the other hand, like just kind of selecting the items that you want to carry and the kind of pieces of clothes you're gonna wear. And so you'd be like, this shirt is cool, but it's more like a home t-shirt, not because it's like something I would wear at home, like inside the house, but because it does represent more the kind of, I don't know, style and vibe that I would go for when I'm like hanging out with my hometown friends. And I think it's still fun. It's still like, when done lightheartedly, I think it's enjoyable to see things into that perspective, and allowing myself especially to diversify the kind of versions of me that I want to be known, and I want to kind of explore as well ways. But I think I didn't really get that much time either to dive deeper into those thoughts. I was very much trying to avoid whatever was going on in my head, because it's easy to create expectation and to also create illusions. So you never know what it's gonna actually turn out to be. I think especially when you open a door for the first time, and in this case it was very much a new discovery for me because I'd never been to Amsterdam before, so I didn't even know whether I would even like the city. But I must say, maybe it's because I'm kind of getting here with the mindset of this where I'm actually going to stay in the next year, so I need to like it, you know. But I mean, without even having to put that much effort, I think I really like this city, and I'm so thrilled with anything that I might discover here, and the opportunities, and the kind of just, yeah, like I think a big factor for me is seeing people that are the same age of me, or like just a tiny bit older, but not too much, like not to make the gap too big. Because this is very much pushing me to feel like I'm part of a community of people that it's kind of getting through life and getting through their ambitions and wanting to put themselves into the world and giving them something, which is a feeling that might sound kind of ridiculous just by, you know, seeing people that are as old as you. But I really missed it when I was like in Italy, because where I came from, I think I could really see the city emptying because people that were a bit older than me would kind of move somewhere else for university, or just, you know, find some kind of little jobs and not really not with the intention of progressing to something else, which I'm not saying that it's necessarily wrong itself, but it's just like it was not something I could kind of relate to, or a mindset that really pushed me towards my goals. So instead of like stimulating me, I felt a bit kind of underwhelmed from it, and yeah, a bit kind of in need to have people like-minded to confront with myself. So yeah, I don't know, this is just the kind of little, I don't know, insight that I might have the city so far. I can't tell much more because actually I haven't seen much of Amsterdam yet. With my parents, we went on some kind of bike rides in the evening these days, and so if I were to just decide one of my favorites so far, I'd say that I really loved Artis Park. It's basically the zoo garden where we actually did not enter because if the kind of entrance ticket was like 30 euros, and we were like not much willing to pay 90 euros just for the three of us visiting it. So we just took pleasure in watching the birds outside, especially because my father, I'm gonna tell you, like, running bikes here you need to have basically a biking license. I don't know, I mean, I wonder how kids actually manage to get that through, because there are so many kind of panels and signs that you need to kind of be aware of that normally are used for kind of cars, like even, you know, the who has the priority lines and the priority kind of triangles. I feel like it's something that I've learned of, and I kind of got to kind of notice more when I was also studying for my driving license. So now to find them, even when I'm just kind of riding my bikes, feels a bit kind of weird. But I don't know, maybe just let's call it like culture shock coming from Italy, where we don't really get that much kind of cycling paths. But in a way, it's also very the kind of reason why I'm here. I love just feeling like I'm in a new system and need to try to make sense of that new system, and collecting all the pieces of information and then drawing the bigger picture. So hopefully that won't imply any fines. But I think for the moment is kind of enough to wrap up this little chit chat. I think it was very casual. I hope you could still kind of draw something from it, besides just me talking and rambling a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm also gonna kind of get a bit more specific in terms of like my university and what I do, what I study, how I apply to it, and any kind of other useful information maybe in some other videos. Well, thank you very much for just like spending your time and paying attention to me. So I hope to kind of hear you soon, and bye bye.